What's cracking, Jack? You are in the jungle. 12 games on the NBA slate Wednesday, October 22nd. I came here to chew bubblegum and kick the book's ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the show. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the jungle. We're diving right in. We've got 12 games on the NBA slate. Man, I'm so excited about this time of year. We're going to break down all 12 games, come up with the best bets, sometimes two, for each game because you know I'm a big player prop guy in the NBA. I'm going to leave two links for you in the comments section. The first link is to my $5 favorite play of the day. And for just $5 and no further obligation, you get my best NBA bet of the day text to your phone. The second link is to become a Jungle member. And for as little as 55 cents a day, you can become a member, get my full betting card, every sport, text to your phone every single morning. You also get access to our members-only Discord and a direct line to me if you'd like me to opine on any other bet that you are considering placing. We have a free weekly trial. Take it for a test spin and see if it's for you. Today's video is brought to you by Outlier.bet, the top name in sports betting research, and by Red Lobster, now adding a petting zoo at participating locations. First game up, we've got two Eastern Conference heavyweights. It's Cleveland at the Knicks. Cavs are plus 2.5, and the over-under is set at 238.5. Key injuries: Darius Garland out for Cleveland, Max Strus out for Cleveland, OG Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns. Game time decisions for the Knicks. Cleveland dominated the Knicks last season. They won all four matchups against them, including two 6-point wins in New York. Forget about the playoffs last season. This was still the highest scoring team, Cleveland was, in the NBA, averaging 122 points a game. And I think that giving them points against the Knicks is a mistake. I'd take the 2.5 with the Cavs. And also I look at Donovan Mitchell's props here to the over. With the absence of Darius Garland, his points and assists line is set around 32.5 on most books. Now last year he had a median of 30 points plus assists with Garland out, but Mitchell has a history of playing very well at Madison Square Garden. I take the Cavs with the 2.5, and I also look at Mitchell over points and assists. Second game, we're looking at Miami at Orlando. The Heat are getting 8.5 points on the road. Over-under set at 215.5. Khalil Ware, game time decision for Miami. Tyler Hero is out. He'll certainly be on the sideline in a ridiculous outfit. Jalen Suggs, game time decision for Orlando. With an over-under expectation set at 215.5, 8.5 points is too much to give the Heat. Orlando just doesn't play in a way that warrants giving up 8.5 points. They're defense first team. Last season, Orlando won just 30% of their games by 9 points or more. And 60% of Miami's losses were by less than 8 points. And those losses of more than 8 were against teams that are higher scoring than Orlando, who last season was 28th in scoring. Miami was 24th. And yes, Orlando added a little bit of offense with Desmond Bane and his short arms. But don't forget that the Heat added Norman Powell, Stormin' Norman from the Clippers, and his 20 points a game. And Andrew Wiggins, who came over last year midseason, played really well offensively for Miami. Again, 8.5 points, too many for a defensive-minded team to give up the first game of the season. Take the Heat plus the 8.5. Brooklyn at Charlotte. The Hornets are minus 5.5 point home favorite. Very, very different for the Hornets. Over-under set at 226.5. We've got some fun rookie debuts in this one. The Nets debuting their 6'8" point guard out of BYU, Igor Deminin. Now, I know I mispronounce his name wrong. I do it all the time. Igor Deminin. Igor Deminin. And Charlotte debuting their rookie from Duke, which I love saying his name. You know what, I know it. It's Cade Knipple. Both rookies listed as starters for this game. Interesting to watch. Michael Porter Jr. also making his Nets debut. Brandon Miller is back, and LaMelo Ball is back in for Charlotte. But this is a Charlotte Hornets team that only won 6% of its games last year by 6 points or more. And I think that 6 points is too many to give a Nets team that I wouldn't say is inferior to Charlotte. Take the points with Brooklyn. Very interesting game coming up here. 76ers at Boston. Boston is a 2.5 point home favorite, over under 227.5. Really interesting matchup because there's a little bit of new look from a starting lineup standpoint. So the Sixers have Joel Embiid back. He'll be at the 5, of course. Tyrese Maxey back at the 1, and they're starting Quentin Grimes at the 2, which is pretty interesting. Remember, he took over for Maxey when Maxey got hurt at the 1, scored a ton of points. And they have rookie VJ Edgecombe at the 3 from Baylor. Kelly Oubre at the 4. Very interesting team to watch. Boston, of course, without Jason Tatum, maybe for the season. Kristaps Porzingis is gone. Drew Holiday's gone. He's in Portland. Jaylen Brown's a game-time decision, although he should play. And they have Anthony Simons. It's so weird. Anthony Simons is a Boston Celtic now. He's starting at the 2. So the Celtics have Derek White running point, Anthony at the 2, Jaylen Brown at the 3, Sam Hauser at the 4, and Queta at center. Very different looking Boston Celtics team. Take the logos out of it here, okay? I like the Sixers plus the 2.5 points. It seems to me there's going to be way too much learning how to play with this new starting lineup for Boston, especially throwing Anthony Simons in the mix, who's one of the worst defensive players in the NBA, one of the reasons Portland wanted to get rid of him. This is a Sixers lineup with Maxey back, Embiid back, and underrated, in my opinion, Kelly Oubre Jr. And I'm curious to see how Grimes and Maxey work together at the 1 and 2. They both can score a ton. Going to be interesting to see how that works out. And they can work in that new rookie piece of VJ Edgecombe any way they want to, make him part of a machine that's already in place. I think there's way too many Sixers scores here for the Celtics to cover. Take the Sixers plus the 2.5. And there's a player prop in this game. That may be my $5 favorite play of the day. Raptors at the Hawks. Toronto plus 5.5 on the road. Over-under set at 235.5, and the line is set at minus 135 if Quinn Snyder is going to wear a ridiculous pair of glasses. Kristaps Porzingis debuting with the Hawks. Looks like Atlanta will have Jalen Johnson back, Double J. So the Hawks lineup looks pretty good. Trae Young at the 1, Dyson Daniels at the 2, Zachary Ricochet at the 3, Double J at the 4, and Porzingis at the 5. I think this over-under is set too low. And if you follow my channel, you know that we play the high totals over and we play the low totals under. It's set at 235.5, but there's way too much offense and not enough defense besides Dyson Daniels for this to stay under, in my opinion. 2 out of 3 games they played last year, the score ended up in the 240s. And 60% of Atlanta's games last season landed over this number of 235.5. I like the over. And also look at Trae Young's over assist props. Pelicans at Memphis, New Orleans plus 4.5, over under set at 237.5. I like the Pelicans with the points here. I do. DeJounte Murray's out, but they have Jordan Poole running point, and I like the rest of that New Orleans starting lineup. Trey Murphy at the 2, Herbert Jones at the 3, a slim down. Zion Williamson at the 4, he looks good, and Yves Missi at center. I would also look at Zion's plus points and assists line. It's sitting around 30.5 on most books. He was over that in 60% of his last 20 games last season with a median of 33. Of all of Zion's stats, so his points alone, rebounds alone, assists alone, or any combination of such, the one that hit the most last year, and by the most margin when it did hit, was his points plus assist prop. It's easy to say you want his points and rebounds because he's a big dude and he plays the 4, but points and assists is what hit the most for him. So I like the Pelicans with the points, and I like Zion's over points and assists. Detroit Pistons, road favorite in Chicago, taking on the Bulls. Pistons minus 3.5 over-under, set at 232.5. Kobe White is out for the Bulls. That's a big missing piece. Zach Collins is a game-time decision, and so is Isaac Okoro. These two teams played 4 times last season. Detroit won 3 of those, and they covered in all 3 that they won. Detroit got better in the offseason, adding Duncan Robinson, Unky Dunky. The rest of the starting 4 remained the same. Cade Cunningham at the 1, Asar Thompson. Hey, that's our men's brother. At the 3, Tobias Harris at the 4, and Jalen Duren at the 5. The Bulls did not improve in the offseason, and they're without their best player, Kobe White. Lay the 3.5 with Detroit. Washington at Milwaukee. Wizards plus 9.5, bless their heart. Over under set at 227.5. I lay them with the Bucks here. I don't think 9.5 is enough. The Wizards are a young, fun team. They're going to play fast, and yes, they did bring in a little bit of veteran leadership in C.J. McCollum and Chris Middleton. But the Bucks are just too much for this team. Even without Dame Lillard, the starting lineup looks really good. Kevin Porter at the 1, Gary Trent Jr. at the 2, Kyle Kuzma at the 3, Giannis 4, Miles Turner debuting at the 5 for Milwaukee. I'd also look at Giannis over points plus rebounds. It's set at 43.5 right now. And of all his stats combined, this is the one that hit the most last year, his points plus rebounds. The Wizards also gave up more rebounds than any team in the NBA last season and the second most points. Lay the 9.5 with the Bucks and look at Giannis over points and rebounds. The Clippers in Utah taking on the Jazz. Jazz plus 9.5 at home. Over-under set at 226.5. John Collins, the John Collins revenge game, taking on his old team. Brooke Lopez, connoisseur of jean shorts, also debuting with the Clippers. Isaiah Collier, point guard for Utah, game time decision. This is definitely not my favorite game on the board to bet, but if you're looking for a side here, I would lay the points with the Clippers. These teams played 4 times last year, and the Clippers won all 4 of them. Covered the spread in 3 of them. The spreads they covered were 9.5, 7.5, and 18. Not enough has changed for Utah. They do have rookie Ace Bailey, but he's questionable. But even with him, not enough has changed to make me want to take the Jazz with the points. Seems to be close to status quo for the Clippers. They don't have Norman Powell, but they did add one of the Jazz's best players in John Collins. Not enough here to take the Jazz plus the 9.5. If you're going to play it, I would lay it with the Clippers. Spurs at Dallas. Man, I'm looking forward to this one. Dallas minus 2.5. Over-under set at 226.5. Lots of star power in this game. Stephon Castle, Victor Wembanyama, Cooper Flagg, last 2 number 1 picks. Anthony Davis, I'm super excited for this one. I like the over here. 65% of the Spurs' last 20 games went over this number of 226.5, and 60% of the Mavericks' last 20 games went over this as well. This should be a very electric environment. 2 teams excited about the season, high expectations, probably come out firing. Tough to pick a side, but I do like the over. My favorite bet in this game, however, is Stephon Castle, starting point guard for the Spurs, over 15.5 points. He was over this line in 10 of his last 13 games, Rookie of the Year. And when De'Aaron Fox was out, which he is Wednesday, and Castle started at point guard, he had a median. We talk medians in the jungle, not averages. A median of 19.5 points a game. I like him going over 15.5. Pardon me. Sacramento at Phoenix. Kings plus 4.5. Over under 228.5. Dylan Brooks making his Suns debut. And of course, they also have Jalen Green, who came over in that Kevin Durant trade as well. But Green's out for this game. Color of money. Jalen Green. Kings are banged up. No Sabonis, no Keegan Murray. Malik Monk is sick. I think it's going to have it's a spot to back the Suns in this game. Sacramento-wise, I might look at Zach LaVine's over points prop, but I do like the Suns minus the 4.5 here. Sacramento's too banged up, and I also do like Devin Booker over 36.5 points and assists. His median last year through the season was 33, but I think that his first game without Durant at home, understanding this is his team, he's going to run with it. I like the Suns minus the 4.5, and I like Booker over 36.5 points and assists. And the last game we're looking at for Wednesday, Minnesota T-Wolves at Portland. Minnesota minus 4.5 over under 221.5. Drew Holiday's running point for Portland. And, you know, running point for Portland, Scoot Henderson out for the Blazers. Dame Lillard, Dame time, out for the Blazers, maybe the whole season. I'd lay the points at Minnesota, just the better team here. But my favorite play is Shaedon Sharpe, shooting guard for Portland, over 19.5 points. Sharpe was over this line 8 of his last 10 games to close the season out last year with a median of 23 points, 21 shot attempts, 8 3-point shot attempts. Let me tell you something. When the shot attempts, 20.5 median, overlaps what his points number is, 19.5. That's usually something I take a strong look at, and I like in this case. Anthony Simons is now in Boston, so he's not contending with him for shots. Simons shoots a lot, and he has a true passing point guard now in Drew Holiday. I like Shaedon Sharpe over 19.5 points. Let's have a day, Jungle Nation. Remember, be humble, be kind, be respectful, but be strong. And I'll see you next time with a little more money in your pocket.